Looks like Panasonic may have accidentally, or maybe intentionally, kind of spoiled some of the details of Tesla's battery day, but I'm sure we're gonna get a lot more information on the matter once September rolls around, which is coming up quick. Here's hoping battery day doesn't get delayed again. But essentially, they detailed that they're going to continue producing the 2170 cells, but increase their energy density over the next 3 to 5 years. Head of the US division of battery production for Panasonic, who is of course partnering with Tesla at Giga Nevada. So basically, most of the battery cells being produced for the Model 3 and the Model Y are in partnership with Panasonic. They want to improve energy density by around 20% over the next few years, and in the next couple years work on eliminating the use of cobalt, which is very good news to hear given how expensive the mineral is and controversial given a lot of the known methods of mining cobalt involve the exploitation of children, which is terrible. Thankfully now, batteries in Teslas are using the smallest percentage of cobalt in the industry, and it's great to see them already working towards eliminating it entirely. So it's all good news here. It's all things we can look forward to. The increase in energy density in these next generation 2170 cells does of course mean that we'd be able to get better range out of the Model 3 and Model Y, or potentially whatever other vehicles Tesla has planned for the 2170 cells. And of course, this is separate from Project Roadrunner, which is kind of confusing to people because yes, there is a behind the scenes project of Tesla developing their own cell, not in partnership with Panasonic, and they're already working on facilities that are going to be mass producing those, and Elon has said we're going to see a tour of that battery cell production at these new factories that are just a few minutes away from Fremont. And due to the size of these facilities, we're not expecting them to be the sole producer of all batteries that are going into the 3 and Y, but more than likely the type of batteries that Tesla would want to use in the Model S, the Plaid powertrain, probably the Model X, and the Roadster, given how low volume those are, and perhaps the 2170s that are in the Model 3 and Y today can continue to be used in those more mass-produced vehicles, and probably even go into the Tesla Semi because of how many batteries it requires. The big mystery, though, that we're not too sure about, hopefully we can get some answers at Battery Investor Day, is whether or not the Cybertruck is going to be using these next-generation 2170 cells that Panasonic is talking about, or they're going to use Tesla's in-house design cell and perhaps scale up production of that type of battery at the new Giga Texas factory. At this point, we don't know, but that would absolutely be a good question for anybody who's going to be attending the annual shareholders meeting at the end of September, because I am dying to find out what type of batteries are going into the truck. But in regards to the Model 3 and Model Y production, if you could imagine 20% more energy density, and Elon has also alluded to removing the modules in the current battery packs they're putting in their vehicles could maximize the usage of cells inside the Model 3s and Ys with future manufacturing techniques, they could easily start pushing close to 400-mile ranges within the Model 3 and Y, which is great news to hear. And because of the eventual removal of cobalt, that should result in better energy density alongside cheaper battery packs. But there's multiple ways Tesla can approach this technique. The good news is that whichever option Tesla decides to go with, it ends up being great for the end consumer. So for one, obviously you could keep the prices of Tesla vehicles around the same and increase the energy density on the inside, and that of course would result in better range. So prices stay the same, but the range gets way better and you can go further on a charge. Or the alternative is they start putting in smaller battery packs, because with higher energy density you could get just as much power and just as much range as we're getting today, but a lighter vehicle. So at the same time you could kind of prioritize efficiency and likely offset that lower price of batteries to the consumer, which results in all Teslas keeping the same range and the price going down at the same time. I'm a fan of both. You know, if there's some weird mixture that Tesla can do where range goes up, price goes down, I'm all for it. And in the grand scheme of 5 to 10 years, that's most likely what we're gonna see. You know, the 300-mile Teslas going from being around a $45,000 to $50,000 price to being somewhere closer to under 40 or maybe pushing 35. I would say easily expect that in the next 5 to 10 years. But hearing Panasonic say they have these strict guidelines and these goals in the next few years to roll out these next generation cells is encouraging. But the important thing to remember is that it's not an overnight switch. There's likely going to be lots of reiterations of the 2170 cell. It won't just be one day like, oh, 20% better range for everyone, cool. Everyone who bought a Tesla before that, sorry, you're out of luck. This will likely be fairly incremental, like 3 or 5% increases per year and slow price decreases over time. So if you're willing to wait 5 years to just make sure you get the absolute best tech, I mean, you could probably wait another 5 years and get even better tech. But I can't wait to hear more about this rollout of the next generation cells and I'm very happy to hear that even Panasonic is getting on board the cobalt-free train. The sooner we can get cobalt out of these batteries, the better, and the sooner we can increase the range and decrease the prices of Teslas, the better. But what do you guys think? Would it be better for the Cybertruck to use the 2170 cells being used in the Model 3 and Model Y, or should Tesla switch to their own in-house design cell with Project Roadrunner, the same batteries that they're putting in the Model S and X that likely have very little degradation? It's a difficult question because we don't really know the pros and cons of going with which battery, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. If you hit me up over on Twitter, join my Discord, we can chat more about it there. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.